Namo Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajakacarya Ashtattar Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I hope all you are doing well. Today we'll be reading from text 61 from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you have not listened our previous classes, please check out from our playlist. So before we begin, we will pray first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नारायणं नमस्कृतं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततं जयमुदीरये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So please listen very carefully. So let's begin. Text 61. ঈশ্বর স্বরূপ ভক্ত তাঁর অধিষ্ঠান ভক্তের হৃদয়ে কৃষ্ণের সতত বিশ্রাম ঈশ্বর স্বরূপ ভক্ত তাঁর অধিষ্ঠান ভক্তের হৃদয়ে কৃষ্ণের সতত বিশ্রাম Ishvara, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Swarupa, identical with Bhakta, the pure devotee, Tare, his Adhishthana, abode, Bhaktara of the devotee, Hriday in the heart, Krishnara of Lord Krishna, Satata always, Vishrama, the resting place. Translation: the pure devotee constantly engaged in loving service of the Lord is identical with the Lord, who is always stated in his heart. A pure devotee constantly engaged in his loving service of the Lord is identical with the Lord, who is always stated in his heart. Purport: the Supreme Personality Godhead is one without a second, and therefore he is all powerful. He has inconceivable energy of which three are principal. The devotee is considered to be one of this energy, never the energetic. The energetic is always the Supreme Lord. The energy are always related to Him for the purpose eternal service. A living entity is conditioned stage can uncover his aptitude for serving the absolute truth by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master. Then the Lord reveal Himself without a heart. And he can know that Krishna is seated in the heart every pure devotee. Krishna is actually seated in the heart of every living entity, but only a devotee can realize this fact. Text 62. Sadhava hridayang mahyang sadhunang hridayanstaham madanyah te na jananti nahang tevyo managapi. Sadhava hridayang mahyang sadhunang hridayastaham madanyah te na jananti nahang tevyo managapi. Sadhava, the saint, hridaya, heart, madhi, my, mahyam, my, Sadhunam of the saint, Hridayam the heart, tu indeed, aham I, mat then me, anyat other, te they, na means not, jananti no, na means nor, aham I, tevya then them, manak slightly, api ever. Translation: Saint are my heart, and only I am their heart. They do not know anyone but me, and therefore I do not recognize anyone beside them as mine. Saint are my heart, and only I am their heart. They do not know anyone but me, and therefore I do not recognize anyone beside them as mine. Purport. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.6.68 in a connection with misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaja Ambaris. As a result of the misunderstanding, Durvasa Muni tried to kill a king. When the Sudarshan Chakra, the celebrated weapon of Godhead, appeared on the scene of the devotees' king protection, when Sudarshan Chakra attacked Durvasa Muni, he fled in fear of the weapon and sought shelter from all the great demigod in heaven. Not one of them was able to protect him, and therefore Durvasa Muni prayed to the Lord Vishnu for forgiveness. Lord Vishnu advised him, however, if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaja Ambarish, not from him. In this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. The Lord, being full of free from all problem, can wholeheartedly care for his devotee. His concern is how to elevate and protect of all those who have taken shelter at his feet. The same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master concern is how the devotee who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may take progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality God is always mindful of devotee who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Text 63. भवोदिदा भगवतस्तीर्थभूता स्वयं विभो तीर्थकुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि सन्तस्थेन गदावृता भवोद्दिधा भागवतस्तीर्थभूता स्वयं विभो तीर्थीकुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि स्वान्तस्थेन गदावृता भवोद्दिधा भागवता तीर्थभू भवोद्दिधा भागवतस्तीर्थभूता स्वयं विभो तीर्थीकुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि स्वान्तस्थेन गदाभृता भागवत भावत your good self vidva like bhagavata devotee tirtha a holy place of pilgrimage bhuta existing swayam themselves vibho o almighty one tirthi kurvanti make into holy place of pilgrimage tirthani the holy place swa antasthena being situated in their heart gadabhrita of the personality of godhead. Translation. Saints of the caliber are themselves place of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they can constant companion of the Lord. Therefore, they can purify even the place of pilgrimage. Saints of the caliber are themselves place of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they can constant companion of the Lord. Therefore, they can purify even the place of pilgrimage. Saints of your caliber are themselves place of pilgrimage because of their purity. They can constant companion of the Lord. Therefore, they can purify even the place of pilgrimage. This verse was spoken by Maharaja Yudhishthira to Vidura in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.10. Srimad Maharaja Yudhishthira was receiving his saintly uncle Vidura, who had been visiting scared place of pilgrimage. Maharaj Yudhishthira told Vidura that pure devotee like him are personified holy place because the Supreme Personality God is always with them in their heart. By their association, sinful person are free from sinful reaction, and therefore, whatever a pure devotee goes in scared place of pilgrimage, the importance of holy place is due to presence of such pure devotees. সেই ভক্তগণ হয় দ্বিবিধ প্রকার পারিষদগণ এক সাধকগণ আর সেই ভক্তগণ হয় দ্বিবিধ প্রকার পারিষদগণ এক সাধকগণ আর সেই দিস ভক্তগণ ডিভোটি হয় আর দ্বিবিধ দ্বিবিধ টুফোল্ড প্রকার ভ্যারাইটি परिषदगण factual devotee एक one sadhakgana prospective devotee or the others. Such pure devotee are two types personal associate, parishad, and near-path devotee, sadhaka. Perfect servitor of the Lord are considered his personal associate. Wherever devotee is endeavoring to attain the perfection are called neophyte devotee. The endeavoring to attain perfection are called neophyte. Among Among the association, some are attracted by the opulence of the personality Godhead, and other attracted the nuptial love of Godhead. The former devotee are placed in the realm of the Vaikuntha to render devotional service, whereas the later devotee are placed in Vrindavana for the direct service of Krishna, of Sri Krishna. ঈশ্বরের অবতার এই তিন প্রকার: অংশ অবতার আর গুণ অবতার। শাক্তাবেশ অবতার তৃতীয় এমত, অংশ অবতার পুরুষ মৎস্যাদিক জাত। ঈশ্বরের অবতার এই তিন প্রকার: অংশ অবতার আর গুণ অবতার। শাক্তাবেশ অবতার তৃতীয় এমত, অংশ অবতার পুরুষ মৎস্যাদিক জাত। ঈশ্বরে the supreme law of the supreme lord avatara incarnation etina these three prokara kind amsa avatara partial incarnation aura and guna avatara qualitative incarnation shakti avashesha avatara shakti avashesh avatara empowered incarnation three the third aim at thus Amsha Avatara, the partial incarnation, Purusha, the three Purusha incarnation, Matsya, the fifth incarnation, Adika, and so on, Yatha, all. There are three category of incarnation of Godhead: partial incarnation, qualitative incarnation, and embodied incarnation. There are three category of incarnation of Godhead: partial incarnation, qualitative incarnation, and embodied incarnation. The Purusha and Matsya are example of partial incarnation. The Purusha, the Purushas and Matsya are example of partial incarnation. ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव तीन गुण अवतारे गुणी ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव तीन गुण अवतारे गणी शक्तवे शनकादि पृथु व्यास मुनि Brahma, Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Lord Shiva, Tina, three. Guna Avatar, among the incarnation controlling the three mode of material nature, Gani, I count, the Shakti Avashesha, empowered incarnation, Sanaka Adi, the four Kumara, the Prithu, King Prithu, Vyasa Muni, Vyasdeva. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are qualitative incarnation. Empowered incarnation are those like the Kumaras, King Prithu, and the Mahamuni Vyasa, the compiler of Vedas. দুই রূপে হয় ভগবানের প্রকাশ, একে তো প্রকাশ আর তো বিলাস। একে তো প্রকাশ হয় আরে তো বিলাস। দুই রূপে হয় ভগবানের প্রকাশ, একে তো প্রকাশ হয় Arito Vilash. Duirupi in two form Haya are Bhagavan of the Supreme Personality Godhead, Prakasa manifestation. Eka in one, the certainly Prakasa manifestation Haya is are in other, the certainly Vilasa engaged in pastimes. The personality Godhead exhibit himself two kind of form, Prakasa and Vilasa. The personality Godhead exhibit himself in two kind of form, Prakasa and Vilasa. The Supreme Lord expand his personal form in two primary category. The Prakas form are manifested by Lord Krishna for his pastime, and their feature are exactly like him. When Lord Krishna married 16,000 queen in Dwarika, he did so. He did so 16,000 Prakasa expansion. Similarly, during the Rasa dance, he expanded himself in identical Prakasha form to dance beside each and every gopi simultaneously. When the Lord manifested his Bilasa expansion, however, they are all somewhat different in their bodily feature. Lord Balarama is the first Bilasa expansion of Lord Krishna, and 400 Narayana from Vaikuntha expand from Balarama. There is no difference between the bodily form of Sri Krishna and Balarama except their bodily color are different. Similarly, Sri Narayana in Vaikuntha has four handed, while Krishna has only two. The expansion of Lord who manifests such bodily difference are known as Bilasa Vigraha. একই বিগ্রহ যদি হয় বহুরূপ আকারে তো ভেদ নাহি একই স্বরূপ মহিষী বিবাহে জয়ছে জয়ছে কৈলরাস ইহাকে ইহাকে কহি কৃষ্ণের মুখ্য প্রকাশ একই বিগ্রহ যদি হয় বহুরূপ আকারে তো ভেদ নাহি একই স্বরূপ মহিষী বিবাহে জয়ছে জয়ছে কৈলরাস ইহাকে কহিয়ে কৃষ্ণের মুখ্য প্রকাশ একই ই the same one vigraha person yadi if higher become Bohurupa many form Akare in appearance, the certainly Veda difference Nahi there is not Ekahi one. Swarupa identity Mahishi the with the queen of Dwarika Vivahe in the marriage. H in the similar way Kaila he did rasa dansa. Rasa means rasa dansa. Ihake this kahiya I say Krishnara of Krishna, Mukhya principle Prakasa manifested form. When the personality Godhead expand himself in many form, all non-different in their feature, as Lord Krishna did when he married 16,000 queen and when he performed his rasa dansa, such form of Lord are called manifested form Prakasa Vigraha. Text 71. चित्रं वदयितदेकेन वपुषा युगपत् पृथक् गृहेषु द्रष्टा सहस्रं स्त्रिय एक उदावहत् चित्रं वदयितदेकेन वपुषा योगपत् पृथक् गृहेषु द्रष्टा सहस्रं स्त्रिय एक उदावहत् चित्रं wonderful Batra, oh, etat this, ekena with one, bapusa from, yugapats simultaneously, prithak separately, grihesu in the house, devi ashtasahasram 16,000, striya, all the queens, eka, the one Sri Krishna, udabahat married. It is astounding that Lord Sri Krishna, who is one without a second, expanded himself in 16,000 similar form to marry 16,000 queen in their uh, respective home. It is astounding that Lord Sri Krishna, who is one without a second, expanded himself in 16,000 similar form to marry 16,000 queen in their respective home. This verse is mentioned Srimad Bhagavatam 10.69.2. Text 72. रासोत्सव संप्रवित्र गोपीमण्डलमण्डित योगेश्वरेण कृष्णं तासां मध्य द्वयोर्द्वयो रासोत्सव संप्रवित्र गोपीमण्डलमण्डित योगेश्वरेण कृष्णेन तासां मध्ये द्वयोर्द्वयो Rasa Utsava, the festival of the Rasa dance. Sampravittu was begun. Gopi Mandala by the group of gopis. Mandita decorated Yogeshwara by the master of mystic power, Krishnena, the Lord Krishna. Tasam of them, Madhya in the middle, Dayur the O of each two. When Krishna, surrounded by the group of the cowherd girls, began the festival of the Rasa dance, the Lord of Mystic Power placed himself between each between each two girls. When Sri Krishna surrounded, the when Lord Krishna, surrounded by group of cowherd girls, began the festival of the Rasa dancer, the Lord of mystic power placed himself between each two girls. This verse is also quoted Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.3. Text 73. प्रविष्टेन गृहीतानं कंठे स्वनिकटं स्त्रिया प्रविष्टेन गृहीतानं कंठे स्वनिकटं स्त्रिया यं मन्यरन्यभस्तावधीमाना स्वत शङ्कुलम् यं मन्यरन्यभस्तावधीमाना स्वत शङ्कुलम् दिवौकसं दिवौकसं सदा राणामतौ सुख्यभृतात्मनां ततो दुन्दुभयो नेदुर्निपेत पृष्ठ पुष्पवृष्टयो ततो दुन्दुभयो नेदुर्निपेत पुष्पवृष्टयो. Pravishtena, having entered, Grihitanang, Grihitanang of those embracing, Kanthe of the neck, Nikatam, Nikatam situated at their own side, Striya of the Gopi, Yam whom Manyaram would think, Nabhav the sky, Tatva Twavat at once, Vimana of airplane, Sata with 100, Sankulam crowded, Divya Okasam of the demigod, Sadaranam with their wife, Ati Anushukhaya with eagerness, Bharta Atmanam whose mind are filled, Tata then, Dhundu Baya kettle drum, Nedu sounded, Nipetu fell, Puspa Barshaya shower of flowers. When the cowherd girls and Krishna thus joined together, each girl thought that Krishna was dearly embracing her alone. To behold, to behold this wonderful pastime of the Lord, the denizens of heaven and their wife, all very eager to see the dances, flew in the sky in their hundred of airplane. This showered flower and beat sweetly on drums. When the cowherd girls and Krishna thus joined together, each girl thought that Krishna was dearly embracing her alone. To behold this wonderful pastime of the Lord, the denizens of heaven and their wife, all very eager to see the dances, flew flew in the sky in their hundred of airplane. These gonna served these they served gonna flower and beat sweetly on drum. This is another quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.3 to 4. Text 75. अनेकत्र प्रकटता रूप श अनेकत्र प्रकटता रूपशैकस्य यैकदा सर्वथा त्वत्स्वरूपैव सप्रकाश इति रियते अनेकत्र प्रकटता रूपस्यैकस्य एकदा सर्वदा त्वत्स्वरूपपैव स प्रकाश इति रथे Anekatra, in many places, Prakatata, the manifestation rupasya of from ekasya one, ye which ekada at one time, sarvatha in every respect, tat his sarupa one form, eva certainly, sa that prakasa manifested form, iti thus, itiyate it is called. Itiyate it is called. In numerous forms, all equal of their feature are displayed simultaneously. If numerous forms, all equal in their feature, if numerous forms, all equal in their feature are displayed simultaneously, such forms are called Prakasha Vigraha of Lord. If numerous form all equal in their feature are displayed simultaneously, such form are called Prakasha Vigraha of Lord. This is quotation from the Logu Bhagavatamrita 1.21 compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. So here we concluded today's reading. I hope all you understood. So we made a separate video presentation to proper understanding. Please stay till the end, and you must got the proper understanding. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Do you ever wonder how one divine being could be in like a million places at once and not just be there, but have a real personal connection with every single person? I mean, it sounds impossible, right? Well, some of the most ancient texts actually give us a pretty fascinating way to understand how one can become many. So let's dive into that.
We're going to start with this quote because honestly, it gets right to the core of everything we're talking about today. See, it's not just about some cosmic power, it's about a deep two-way relationship. This idea right here, that the divine and the devotee are totally inseparable, is the key that unlocks everything else.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of how the Lord can appear in all these different forms, we first have to understand why. And the answer, at least according to these texts, is all about the nature of this really profound relationship. Now, this is a really powerful concept, and it's not just a nice metaphor. The teaching is that a pure devotee literally becomes the Lord's home. He is always present in their heart. What that means is, in a very real sense, there's just no separation between them. And that connection, it has some pretty incredible implications. The texts actually describe these saints as personified holy places. I mean, just imagine that for a second. Someone whose very presence can make a sacred place even more sacred, just because the divine is always right there with them. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Okay, so we've got this incredibly deep personal connection as our foundation. Now let's get into the how. How does that connection allow the divine to show up in the world? Well, the texts actually categorize these appearances, or avatars, to help us wrap our heads around the different ways it can happen. So here are the three main types. First up, you've got your Amsha avatars. These are partial incarnations for specific jobs, like Matsya, the fish avatar, who showed up to save the world from a huge flood. Then there are the Guna avatars. You've probably heard of them, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They're in charge of the big stuff, the fundamental qualities of the material world, like creation, keeping things going, and destruction. And finally, you have Shakti-avesha avatars. These are basically empowered individuals, like the great sage Vyasa, who are given a special mission and the divine power to get it done. Which of course brings us to the core question. How does one single, indivisible being show up in so many different ways? Well, the texts give us two key concepts that really unlock this whole mystery for us.
And those two concepts are called Prakasha and Vilasa. Seriously, getting the difference between these two is the key to understanding how this whole divine expansion thing works, whether the new form is an exact duplicate or something a little different.
So what really is the difference between a Prakasha form and a Vilasa form? Let's put them side by side. It'll make it super clear.
Okay, so on one hand, you have Prakasha. Think of it like making a perfect photocopy.
The copy is absolutely identical to the original, in every single way. Vilasa, on the other hand, that's more like a remix. It's the same essential being, for sure, but with different features, like Lord Balarama having a different color, or Lord Narayana having 4 arms instead of 2. See the difference? Both are divine, but one is an identical copy and the other is a unique variation.
All right, now for the really cool part. Let's look at one of the most famous examples of a Prakasha expansion in action. This is where the whole concept goes from just theory to something vivid and absolutely incredible. 16,000! Just let that number hang in the air for a second. What on earth could that mean? Believe me, it's not a random number. It's the key to one of the most amazing stories of personal, divine connection you'll ever hear. This is where it just gets mind-blowing. The texts say that Lord Krishna married 16,000 queens all at the exact same time in 16,000 different palaces. And how did he do it? He created 16,000 identical Prakasha forms of himself so that every single queen felt like she had his complete undivided attention.
And this idea is maybe most famously shown in the story of the Rasa dance. During this incredible festival, Krishna expanded himself so that he was standing right there between every single pair of cowherd girls, the gopis, who were all dancing in this giant circle.
And this is the heart of it all. Even though they were surrounded by hundreds of other people, each and every girl felt that Krishna was dancing with and embracing her alone. It was this huge shared event, but at the same time, it was an intensely personal experience for every single person there. Now that is the power and the purpose of the Prakasha expansion.
So to kind of wrap it all up with the official definition, when one original form appears in many, many identical forms all at the same time, those are called Prakasha Vigrahas. It's how the divine can be everywhere for everyone, yet somehow feel like it's there just for you.
So what we're left with is this idea of a divine being that isn't distant or remote, but can be present for every single person personally, all at once. Which kind of leaves us with a final question to think about. If divinity can be infinitely personal, what does that mean for connection itself?